Hey, what's up guys? I'm on day 19 of my juice fast, and I'm gonna share with you 6 tips that I've come up with to help you succeed on a juice fast of your own. So let's get into these 6 juicy nuggets of knowledge. Alright guys, so like I said, it is day 19, and this is by far my longest juice fast that I've ever done. My previous longest was 10 days, and I did that one right in the very beginning of my raw food and just healthy lifestyle transition. So I kind of just jumped into it back then. I didn't have an extensive amount of knowledge on how to do one, but I just did it anyways, and it was good. But this time has been much easier for me, you know, just from having 5 years of experience in this lifestyle and just all of the knowledge that I've picked up throughout those 5 years. So, you know, this time I feel great. I'm not dealing with hunger. I'm not dealing with cravings. You know, my workouts are going very well, and everything is just great. So I want to share with you what I have learned and what I have used to make this 19 days of just drinking juice so much more enjoyable than my previous 10-day juice fast, where I dealt with all those things that I just mentioned: cravings, hunger, you know, I lost a lot of weight, and so let's get into it. Alright, so first thing is the cost. And cost can be a big reason why I think a lot of people do not get into juicing. You know, it can be expensive, but there are ways to lower the cost and to make it much more easy on the pocketbook. So first thing, you know, go to your supermarket or go to wherever you get your groceries, speak with the produce manager and ask them if they give a 10% case discount or any sort of case discount. I know a lot of grocery stores will do this, so if you're buying by the case rather than buying individually, they're going to give you a little bit of a deal. So that's one thing you can do. Another thing is to go to your farmers markets and see if you can work out a deal with the farmer, because that's going to save you even more because you're cutting out the middleman of the grocery store. Just go to your farmers, see if there's any deals you can work out if you buy a lot of produce, and that can save you on money. Another thing is, of course, to buy the highest liquid content fruits and vegetables. So like melons are a big one for me. The watermelons, if you can get a good amount of watermelon for a good price, that is gonna go a long ways for juicing. Then, you know, other than that, you can go to celery, cucumber, apples, any citrus like oranges or grapefruit. They're gonna have a lot of water inside as well. So if you get the things that are high in water content, that's gonna get you more juice for your money. If you go for things like greens and other things like root vegetables, you know, the root vegetables are gonna have a decent amount of water, but the greens are gonna really, you know, they've got some, but not nearly as much as you're gonna want if you're trying to save money. So if you are gonna go for the root vegetables, carrots, you can go again to your grocery store and they can order you a 25-pound bag of juicing carrots. A lot of grocery stores will do this anyways. So check with your produce manager if you're a big carrot juicer, and you can just ask them if they have the availability of getting that 25-pound bag of juicing carrots. Alright, so those are 3 things that you can do that can really cut down on the cost. My second tip is to have variety in your juices. So you're gonna wanna at least have like 2 or 3 solid juices that you can go to that you really enjoy. But I really recommend that you experiment with different juices and different combinations while keeping it simple, like 5 ingredients or less. But you know, experiment with different combinations, because having different juices and keeping the flavors, you know, varying instead of just having the same couple of juices every day over and over, that can get pretty boring and you might not want to stick with it in the long term. So getting your solid baseline of your go-to juices and then experimenting and finding other variations that you enjoy too. So keeping it with a variety of different juices is going to help you want to stick with it. My third tip is to consider the time of year that you're going to be juicing. You know, it's getting cold outside now, and you know, I think for most people, they're not going to want to be just drinking juice when it's cold out. Winter time is probably not the greatest time, at least for somebody like me. You know, I like to drink juice more when it's warm or when it's hot out. So summer months would be really great for a juice fast. Not only is the temperature going to affect you, but also the types of fruits and vegetables that are going to be readily available to you. So for me, you know, the first week of this fast, I had watermelon that was coming from my farmer's market, and I was getting 2 melons for $5. They were organic, they had seeds in them, you know, they were delicious, they were perfectly ripe, just how I love them. And I wish I would have started the fast a little earlier so I could have had more of that melon to supplement, you know, my other juices, because the melon is just so economical, especially if you're getting a deal from your farmer's market, from the farmers. You can really get a lot of juice for a significantly lower cost. Also, you're going to have more fresh cucumbers that are local and not shipped in from other countries. Celery, all the things that are going to be high in water content, you can get at your farmer's market for cheaper. But then in the winter months, you start to lose that availability. You start to have to go to, you know, the grocery store and get imported fruits and vegetables. So if you can look to go on your fast during the warm months or wherever you live, you know, maybe you have a longer growing period than here in Minnesota. But here, you know, it is getting towards the end of October, and our farmers markets aren't having the availability of different fruits and vegetables that they normally have. So that would be my next tip, is to just consider the time of year that you're going to do this. My fourth tip is to juice at one time for your whole day. And this is something that I have changed my opinion on from previous years, where I used to say that you should always drink your juice right when you juice it. But I realize that it is not the easiest thing to do if you're doing, you know, an extended juice fast, because it gets really old pretty fast having to continually be juicing. And so I've realized that if I juice all my juice in the morning, that's going to last me throughout the day, it is just much more easy on my schedule, and it's just easier for me to want to stick with it. So, you know, there's going to be limited nutrient loss as long as you're, you know, use some mason jars, fill it all the way to the top, and then put the lid on, put it in the fridge or in a cooler, and then it will keep it fresh enough for the rest of the day. So that is something that I have found to help me sticking with this over the last 19 days and however long I decide to go. Tip number 5 is to juice with a buddy. Find somebody else that is interested in juicing and start a juice fast with someone else so that you have support and you have encouragement. You know, if you're a competitive person, you might compete with this other person on who can make the best tasting juice, or you know, I don't want to really recommend having a competition of who can go longest, because you know, you just got to do what works for yourself and what works for your own body, because you really want to follow your instinct and listen to your intuition on what your body is telling you to do, and not to just push through something because you see somebody else doing it. Follow your intuition, but you know, use another person maybe for encouragement and for support to help you be more comfortable on a juice fast. And lastly is to juice enough. You know, you want to have enough juice to keep the hunger down, to keep your body satisfied, and so that you're not having cravings. And so that is something that I've really noticed from this fast compared to my first 10-day fast, where I had more cravings back then, and it could have had something to do with, you know, I was new into the lifestyle, and, you know, my body just wasn't clean at that point. Now, you know, I don't have those toxic food residues in my tissues, so I might not be craving things as much, but having enough juice for the day is definitely helpful. And John Rose promotes drinking a gallon of juice a day. So that's 128 ounces. For many people that might seem like a lot, but if you can shoot for that level, and maybe if you don't get it every day, it's still a good target to shoot for, so that you're, again, keeping the hunger, cravings, and all those other things down to a minimum. Alright guys, so those are my 6 tips to help you succeed on a juice fast if you decide to do one for yourself. And, you know, I will keep making update videos and some tips that I figure out throughout the rest of my journey here on my juice fast. I hope this helps you. I hope that you found it informational, and I will catch you in the next video. Always remember to follow your raw intuition.
Detoxify your mind and body. Be the change you want to see. Small steps towards living better. Small steps to where I want to be.